My name is Melody Oatversh and I am a composition lecturer at Melbourne Conservatorium of Music. Our composition major is suited to people with composition experience who would like to deepen their skills and craft in composition and technique, and who are also willing to develop their collaboration with our music major peers here at the university. Our philosophy as a composition department is deeply rooted in this idea of the individual voice. So we want you to be yourselves. We want you to have the ability to speak the way that you want to speak with your music. We do that by support. I find that works really well. Meeting with them regularly, having sessions both individually and as groups. Composers work with their composer peers. Also identifying what it is that a student is really trying to do in their music. I find that's a really important part, and it takes a bit of time. And by the time they've finished this degree, they've built up a sense of confidence and their knowledge has increased, and they've figured out ways to implement that into what they do out in the real world when they're working with ensembles. And you can see the results of that in our alumni. Once a student graduates from this major, you have a few different options. You can go out into the real world and start getting your own jobs, generating your own income from composing, create your own opportunities, work with an ensemble, find people that you enjoy working with. You can also come back into the university and do a graduate degree, a master's or even a PhD, and that will allow you a little bit more contact with composer professionals, your peers and ensembles, and you'll basically get more opportunities to continue developing your craft as a composer. The kind of career a composition major can lead to, the most obvious of course being a composer, and that is not just for art music but also in film and music theatre and many other different places. Composers make great publishers and curators in terms of directing festivals, but in general composers make quite flexible and innovative employees and entrepreneurs throughout the artistic world. What students learn and discover when they're studying composition with us is the ability to develop their skills in composition no matter where they've come from and what their skill level is. We've got dozens of rehearsal studios, so it's quite easy to find space to do your thing in. They also develop their music theory, their music history skills with a focus on new music, as well as orchestration, and just generally expanding their knowledge of music. They can also branch out into electronic music. We've got excellent facilities for that here. Electronic music studios that we have open access to make it quite easy to get your work done and be creative. And of course, music publishing and curating and concert management, those kind of areas. The live performance experience that students get in this major involves programming their own concerts with music of their own. We've got 2 amazing new concert halls because we're in this beautiful new building. The workshops that students get to take part in here at the Conservatorium involve having a professional come into the university and talk about themselves and their practice, but it also involves ensembles coming in and working with the composers on specific pieces that they've developed over time. The music styles that these ensembles cover is usually new art music. For a student coming here day-to-day life and collaborating with their peers, you have a lot of opportunity for that. In fact, it's encouraged through your concert presentations. And for a composer, it's incredibly important to develop your networking skills. And we do that by starting with the people that we're around with on a daily basis. In order to apply for this course, students need to submit a portfolio of 3 works with at least 1 recording, as well as a set piece, and the instrumentation will be given to you during the application. Becoming a composer is challenging. You're going to sometimes come into contact with information and knowledge and music as well that you might not agree with. The idea is to not always be in your comfort zone. Seeing these fresh young composers come in to the Conservatorium and getting to know them as a composer and just finding a way to help them be themselves. That's what's most important to me, and just seeing them develop. Even though it's quite challenging doing this job, lecturing and trying to be innovative at the same time, it's absolutely worth it to see the development in these young composers come to fruition.